Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Have you ever met someone who seems to carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, yet they still manage to stand tall? What if I told you that the most painful experiences often create the strongest individuals? Individuals who possess traits you might never expect. Today, we're diving into the 8 traits of those who've suffered too much, and the surprising ways their struggles can shape who they become. Have you ever met someone who seems to carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, yet they still manage to stand tall? What if I told you that the most painful experiences often create the strongest individuals? Individuals who possess traits you might never expect. Today, we're diving into the 8 traits of those who've suffered too much, and the surprising ways their struggles can shape who they become. Trait 1. Deeply empathetic. Let's start with empathy. For those who've faced hardship, empathy runs deep. They've experienced pain and loss, and because of that, they can feel the pain of others in a way few can truly understand. It's not just about being able to sympathize, it's about truly feeling what someone else is going through. The person who's been through darkness often becomes the first to extend a hand to others, offering comfort and kindness without hesitation. In fact, they might be the ones to notice when someone else is suffering, even when no one else does. It's this deep, intuitive understanding that makes them some of the most compassionate people you'll ever meet. Their pain teaches them that nobody should ever have to face their struggles alone. Trait 2. Guarded, but not cold. Next, we have a trait that many people don't understand at first glance. Being guarded, but not cold. Someone who's been through a lot of suffering learns the hard way that the world isn't always kind. As a result, they become careful about who they let in. While they're not necessarily cold or distant, they may take their time before opening up fully. It's as though they've learned the value of self-preservation. It's not about mistrust, but rather about protecting themselves after having been hurt in the past. But despite this guard, there's still warmth underneath. Once you've earned their trust, you'll see a loyalty that's unshakable. Trait 3. Unshakable resilience. This one is probably the most obvious, yet the most powerful. Suffering forces a person to either crumble or rise, and those who've faced unimaginable hardships often end up with a strength you can't see at first glance. It's like the world has thrown every obstacle in their path, yet they continue to move forward, sometimes slowly, but always moving forward. You might see them as fragile, but what you don't know is that their resilience has been forged through their struggles. They've faced their worst fears, dealt with unimaginable loss, and yet they stand tall, often without even realizing how strong they truly are. Trait 4. Wise beyond their years. Anyone who's been through enough pain knows how much it changes your perspective on life. People who suffer deeply often become wise beyond their years. They've learned that time is precious and that the small things in life, like a quiet moment or a smile from a stranger, hold more meaning than they ever realized. Their experiences make them more reflective, more in tune with the world, and often more philosophical. They might seem older in spirit, even if they're young in age. Their wisdom isn't something they gained from books. It's been earned through the toughest lessons life has to offer. Trait 5. Struggles with trust. Now, let's talk about trust. It's often one of the hardest things to rebuild after suffering, and those who've faced too much pain often struggle with trust. Whether it's a betrayal, loss, or disappointment, trusting people can feel risky. But here's the thing, though it's hard for them, trust can be rebuilt. It just takes time and, most importantly, consistency. They may test relationships, silently watching to see if someone will show up when they're needed. But once trust is earned, it becomes one of the most unbreakable bonds. Trait 6. Appreciate the little things. Those who've suffered also tend to appreciate the little things in life. The quiet moments, the simple joys, a warm drink on a cold morning, the sound of rain on the roof, or even just the company of a good friend. People who've experienced hardship know that life can be unpredictable and everything can change in an instant. So they cherish every moment they have. They understand that happiness isn't found in grand events, but in the small, fleeting moments that remind them life is beautiful, even when it's hard. Trait 7. Overly self-reliant. Another trait many people who've suffered have is extreme self-reliance. They've learned the painful truth that sometimes they can't count on others, so they've become experts at depending on themselves. While this can make them incredibly capable, it can also make them reluctant to ask for help, even when they desperately need it. This independence then might seem empowering, but it can also lead to isolation. They carry their burdens alone because they've learned that sometimes others won't show up when needed most. Trait 8. Deep need for healing. And lastly, there's a deep need for healing. No matter how strong or resilient they are, people who've suffered too much often feel like they're carrying around invisible wounds. Healing isn't just a physical process. It's emotional and mental. They may hide it well, but inside, there's a constant longing for peace, closure, and a sense of wholeness. Sometimes, they don't even know how to begin the healing process, but they know it's essential. Healing doesn't happen overnight, and for many, it's a lifelong journey. Suffering shapes us in ways we often don't fully understand. It teaches us resilience, wisdom, empathy, and so much more. If you recognize these traits in yourself or someone else, remember, it's a testament to the strength that's been forged through hardship. And while the scars may remain, they are not signs of weakness, but of survival. If you found this video meaningful, drop a comment below and share your experience. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit from this video. And as always, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.